Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you again for this final episode of the podcast, LEC version, at least, before we head into Worlds. I am your host, Matt Scott, as usual. Happy to have you every week. This is it, guys. Time to talk about what happened in the finals in Malmö, where I had the chance to go and watch both games, with obviously the unfortunate results that happened on Saturday. And the biggest surprise, I think, that no one was expecting on Sunday with a Rogues win. So we'll be talking about all of that today. Um, since Fnatic's game was on Saturday and the finals was on Sunday, I'm gonna do it a bit the other way, even though I know that on the topic list I've put LEC Fnatic as usual in this order. But we will be going over Saturday's game and the shattered dream, unfortunately, that happened. Yeah, a bit of a disappointing end. We'll talk more about the games, what happened. Um, yeah, the disappointment overall. Then we'll go over the finals in itself, Rogue versus G2, and the fact that we have a new champion. Finally, we have what, five different teams now who have won ULCS/LEC. So we have the usual Fnatic G2, we have Alliance, and Mad Lions Rogue. That's five. Um, so that is that. So let's just get right into it, I guess. With first of all, Fnatic. Fnatic, who unfortunately lost 1-3 versus Rogue. What can I say? I don't think anyone was expecting this result. Having spoken to a lot of the people on site, looking at Twitter, even the casters' prediction, there was some 3-0, there was some 3-1s. I personally thought it was going to be like a dominant 3-0 for myself, because Rogue looked really shaky against G2, and even when Rogue had more interesting drafts against G2, G2 was just stretching them out around the map and outplaying them just on a pure scale to scale basis. G2 was winning the team fights and the skirmishes. So, in my opinion, and I believe, was it Reckless who said the same, that Fnatic is the best team fighting team across the last three teams who were left. And on top of that, I feel like until that game, that series, that Fnatic were the best at playing meta picks. So the Lucian Nami, the Ornn, the Silas, and and obviously the Poppy Trundle with Razork, who was pretty much the MVP of the playoffs so far. So everyone was set to say that Fnatic was going to win this one, and it started really well. First game was very well played. We had the Silas on Humanoid. We had Wunder on Ornn, and the execution was amazing. I mean, we even had what was probably the most insane 1v3 from Humanoid, who got ditched by Wunder, who was recalling, and Humanoid was like, "Don't worry, I've got them. I'm not locked in with them. They're locked in with me." ends up getting a triple kill and heading back to base like, thank you for coming. And from that point forward, I think you're in the right to think that the series is done. Like the way Humanoid played that game and the way he's been ramping up for playoffs was just giving signs that okay, he's in his final form going into the finals, and there's no one that's going to be able to match him at that point. And what was weird is that while our drafts weren't bad, Rogue in their second game had a lot of a reactionary draft, which usually is, I would say, a bad sign for a team to just be like, oh crap, we need to ban this champion really quickly, and hopefully that that bails us out. So for me, it looked like, I don't know, Rogue was maybe in a panic mode from that point onwards, and we were just gonna close it 3-0. They locked in the Lucian Nami, right, which I thought was a massive trap for them, because in my opinion, the Lucian Nami combo was really properly executed by Offset and Hilly, right? Especially Offset on his Lucian has been really lethal overall. So I was quite surprised that they were able to perform so well afterwards. I think obviously one of the mistakes was to let Larson on his Victor, and he just got super fed. And on the other side, well, okay, so I think it's bad to say that Wunder was not able to play at Aatrox, because I'm sure, like, if we look at his all-time record, he's played Aatrox before, so it's him playing this champion is not an issue. Actually, I'm looking at his stats right now. Of all time on Aatrox, he has a 57% win rate, and it's like part of his top 5 most played champions in his career. So I don't think that's an issue at all. However, he did get severely outplayed on his Aatrox here. He went against Odoamne's Renekton and just got really hard diffed in lane. Like there's no other way to put it that Odoamne really had Wunder's number across the series, and I think that really hurt Fnatic as a whole, to have like one solo lane just not able to hold himself. If you look the series as a whole, and you just look at top lane, I think this was one of the big issues. On top of the fact that Marang was guessing Razor's pathing really well, to the point that when it was evident that Wunder was struggling and that Razor had to come and help, Marang was there to respond. So there was nothing to do here to manage. With that said, there were good moments where Fnatic came back, but there was a lot of like suicidal moments, like Helisang flashing into 4 people as if he was playing Rakan or something, or also Upset flashing over the wall trying to catch Rogue who was running away, but just gets CC chained instead and gets exploded on his Zeri. So in the end, when you look at it, the drafts were fine, just the execution was very poor. And even into the third game, Wunder really struggling on his Gangplank. Not too sure why he went what's it called? The bullet rune. I always forget how it's called. Instead of going just grasp to sustain, because Ornn, sustains really well the trades in the lane. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to match that, and unless you're really confident that you're gonna win lane and just collect from the rune, then I don't know, you wouldn't necessarily sort of suicide yourself by not picking grasp. So when they're getting soloed by Malmö was, for me, another sign that we were gonna have a problem this series, and that the whole of Rogue, but in particular Odoamne and Marang, just came into this finals with a different level. And unfortunately, if you look across the 4 games, the first game was really a stomp by Fnatic, and then it was just slow and methodical by Rogue, and they just closed out the game perfectly. We weren't able to make anything work across the map, and they rightfully won the series. They were definitely the better team going into this finals, and at least going against us. And there's not much more you can say about this series except that it was really disappointed by the. It was really disappointing, and I was disappointed by what we showcased. We had all this momentum going into the semi-final. I am yawning a lot here. I still really haven't recovered from Malmö, to be honest. But back to my point is that what we've been able to show and the growth we've had throughout the losers bracket, unfortunately, I feel like we've stepped aside of it on this semi-finals, and it is frustrating that we were unable to really go all the way to finals, to really. Oh wait, I put domination. This is not the right. This is definitely not the right title. Let's do this with a side smiley face. I thought I changed that title. But yeah, it was definitely a day off for Wunder, who's shown he can do way better. I don't know why his Aatrox was not up to par. I think that he's shown that he's able to play both tank and carries. Like, he's had really good Renekton games as well last week. Oh, the week before finals, I should say. And yeah, our bot lane didn't go as wild as they were able to do in previous games. So it's, yeah, I feel like Rogue just really held us on a leash and just refused to let us execute the game the way we wanted to. And they played their game, and we were forced to play their game, basically, which is the more paced game. Whereas we go in, we fight, we have a close LPL style that we just throw in the whole team. It worked well in game 1. Rook caught on to it, adapted really well, won the semifinals, and booked their ticket for the finals. So yeah, overall, I think we can somewhat still be happy from what Fnatic showcased after a very, very rough summer split. We managed to qualify for playoffs in the dying embers and make a really deep run into the playoffs bracket. We were one good day away to making finals and maybe winning it all. But sometimes it's just not meant to be. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. And yeah, for having met Yamato Cannon just randomly in a shopping mall this weekend, he shared obviously his frustration and said he was impressed by the level that Rogue showed, and that he wasn't expecting them to play this well. So even himself, was caught a bit short. I think definitely by what Rogue did, and yeah, Rogue was the better team. That's all that can be said. There's no need to be a sore loser. Just recognize that Rogue was better on that day, and they showed it even more during the finals. Oops, wait, there we go. Sorry, wrong tab. Um, but yes, I've shared you guys a little POV of the winning moment from when I was sitting. I had an amazing view. I was right in front of the casters. They had like empty seats because they was needed to relocate because of camera position. So I thought I'd share that little segment, that little POV. And we've crowned new champions. Who would have thought that Rogue would be the new champions? Congrats to them, really. They very well deserved it. Now, with that said, 3-0 finals? No way. No way. Like, as we went in, as Fnatic lost to Rogue, there was double depression because there was the depression of Fnatic not going to finals, but the other was the fact that everyone thought that Rogue was going to get absolutely demolished. Everyone thought that Rogue was going to get demolished. So from this point onward, I think wait, let me just, if I do this, yeah, much better. Sorry, there might be a little double audio here that might have happened. I'm sorry if it did, especially for those who'll be watching the VOD. I've just realized this. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so no one was expecting that Rogue was gonna not only win, but win in such a clean fashion. And well, if you look at the games in details, they kind of went with the same plan that they did against us. So they brought out the Soraka again. They brought out the Ornn. Odo Amne, who was just I don't know. This guy was on a mission, man. He did explain after the game, after Fnatic, that their trip to Malmö really did bring them together, and it like something clicked between them, and I don't know. There's this new synergy, just what made them play better together. So I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them that if this is the case, that they're really feeling as a team, and that some sort of new friendship came over, and that basically Rogue won with the power of friendship. Isn't that cute, right? So Odo Amne was absolutely shredding Broken Blade, and like Broken Blade ended 0-4-0. And even overall, if you look at the stats, G2 only got 2 kills, 3 turrets, compared to Rogue's 17 kills, 11 turrets, 4 drakes. G2 couldn't touch anything. And it's not like any one of them had a good game on that first one. Super dominant. And at that point, I was talking to my friends with whom I was hanging with. I was like, this could be a Rogue 3-0. Because compared to their game on the second round, where Rogue was like nowhere near this level and G2 was just walking over them, you could feel like there was a new face for both teams. Rogue much more confident, playing super well, and G2 being a bit more all over the place, not managing to execute their macro properly, and just getting caught into the weirdest places. Like especially Jankos. Like Jankos throughout the series, a bit like Wunder the day prior, just didn't have a good series. He made some mistakes that he hasn't really shown throughout playoffs, where he looked. I don't know if the right term is saying more focused, but he was definitely more accurate in his play and sharper overall. And I didn't feel this Jankos in the finals, especially in game two, right? Where this time, so obviously when you play against Marang, right, you have to make sure he doesn't get his hands on the Jarvan, right? Was super lethal against Fnatic, has shown what he can do with it, and obviously the advantage of having Jankos in your team is that he's able to play those champions like Jarvan, right? I'm sure Razor can play them, but probably wasn't in his priority picks at the moment, so I can understand why there was not a lot of pick focused for this champion for Fnatic, but for G2, easily you can give it to Jankos and make him perform with it. But on his game with Trundle, was a bit of a closer game for most of the time, but how can I say this? There's like two stages. So there was the early to mid game. It was rather close until Rogue just gets that one good team fight, starts to get the Barons and everything. Then the limits within Rogue's comp started showing, and they got caught when they were trying to push the mid lane, trying to get the turret, and comp almost got destroyed. And basically, comp was the one who was able to shred everyone. Flathead was starting to get his items, even though he was like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 at some point. He was starting to do a lot of damage naturally towards the back line. Trainbait, I think, was key in this game on his Tam Kench, just eating his teammates who were getting caught and CC'd, and he was just a free escape button for them. So it got a little bit touch and go at some point where G2 managed to close down a 9k gold gap to down around 4k gold. And it was like, oh no, there's no way that Rogue is gonna let this game slip away, right? Surely they're able to close and they don't clown around and just let G2 have their way with it. And thankfully, that didn't happen. One final team fight actually took over the game, allowed Rogue to score their second point. And at this point, it gets a bit touchy, right? Because you're basically left with two scenarios. It's either Rogue wins, right? Either 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. If they win 3-0, it's G2 again. Well, there's a few things. There's G2, I think, losing their. Would that be their second final? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be them losing their second final. But it would be Caps. Would that be him losing his first final? Or has he. I think so, right? I need to check something, actually. Because. Who was it? Yeah, so it was third place in spring, and then in summer Summer. Why is it not giving me summer? Group. Oh yeah, it was the Group A, Group B shenanigans. Jesus, that was a bad time. Advanced to semifinals. Playoffs. The section is empty. Weird. Let me check this. So that is spring. So in spring, it was G2 versus Misfits. Was it? No. Yeah, I remember now. I remember now. Okay, so spring was G2 versus Unicorns of Love. And then summer, of course, I was there as well. I'm an idiot. Was G2 versus Misfits. So Caps, until then, had never lost the finals of EULCS/LEC. That was massive for Rogue to hand them this L. And on the other side, it was like, is G2 actually going to manage to pull off one of their numerous patented reverse sweeps? And so going into the third game, that one was just, it was a one-way street. It was a one-way street from the get-go. Broken Blade tried to do something with his Fiora, but it just wasn't to be. Calm just went absolutely godlike on his Severe, ending 7-0-2 for the whole game. Odo Amne just held his lane super properly, even in a counter matchup, and Larson just did Larson things on his Azir. So I think there was a bit of a blunder on the draft from G2, letting Larson on his Azir. That's definitely the type of mistakes you don't want to be doing in possibly your final game. And that was it, basically. 3-0 Rogue. Way deserved, and when you think about it, it was the fairy tale of Fnatic doing the whole gauntlet of the losers bracket, but the poetry in Rogue and its players being denied so many trophies going to finals. They lost spring against G2. They lost spring of last year against Mad Lions. So every time they were so close together, they got reverse swept as well against Mad Lions. So they were one game away to get the trophy. And on round 2 of playoffs, they got 3-0'd by G2. And now they're able to give them the 3-0. Odo Amne, who's played all these years, played multiple finals, never managed to get the trophy, and questioning himself if he would ever be able to do it and to consider himself as a good player. You had Trimby, you had the lost friends, who he basically applied what his friend told him in that finals. You have Comp, who's always been mocked since I'm getting blurry, but Comp got mocked because he was kicked by Vitality last year, and people are saying, oh, he's not good enough to be part of a team. He gets brought in by Rogue, and they manage to get the win. Malrang the same, having to fill in the shoes of Inspired and being laughed at for his crazy playstyle of always going in and never finishing his mythic item, always building a few different parts. And then obviously Larson, who was part of that humanoid nemesis generation, who never got to lift a trophy, who everyone talked about his potential but never really able to show anything for it. I don't know. There was there's a lot of poetry, I think, in this team, and I'm happy they won it. Rogue has great players. You can only cheer for them. So congrats to them. Congrats to them. And I hope they do us proud at Worlds this year, and they are able to do a lot of damage in their group and get into playoffs. Actually, if you look at their group is decently easy. They have Gam, I believe, and Gam and let me check real quickly. If you have the answer, just send it in the chat. They have Gam and TS. Well, TS will be a challenge, but I don't think it's impossible for them. But I think they definitely have one of the easier ones to manage. Cool. I just had one of the new Halo players decide to follow me, so that's cool. I guess. Okay. Cool. We take those. Right. Quick final elements I wanted to share with you guys before we talk about our worlds. My time in Malmö, it was super awesome. I got to meet so many people, both the Fnatic fans, Fnatic staff, Fnatic players, the Fnatic people who made the event absolutely awesome with the Kappa bar and at the expo. Want to shout out basically all the people there: Davard, Solas Pass, aka Pete, Tani, Goalers, Adrian, obviously, absolutely amazing job from all of them to bring us this event. Obviously, all the players, Fnatic, for taking the time to take pictures with us even after the loss. It was awesome, and thanks to my friends for hanging out with me, especially to Das, who took the time to give us a little trip around Malmö and Copenhagen. One of the best guys you can really hope for. But what I meant to say was I'm going to be preparing a little vlog. I don't know when it's going to be published because I have a truckload of video snippets basically to go through. I tried to do this like a proper vlog, even though it's my first time and I have no idea how to do this correctly. But I've done my best to bring you a bit behind the scenes for you people who are watching at home, to share some of that experience, and hopefully you'll appreciate it. Here's a quick snippet of what happened during one of the nights at the Kappa bar. So this is Selfmade, who barged out of nowhere, asking for a drink from someone in the crowd. A whatever. And he was completely off his head. I don't know how much he drank. He was just hanging out all over the place. He was at the arena, he came to the bar. Oh, and he gets a pint of beer. And he spills his beer. A blanket. So there you go, guys. This is some of the stuff that'll be in the vlog. It'll be a bit of time. I'm not a video producer. I'm still learning how to do things properly. So hopefully I can manage it this weekend. But I'm not gonna give you like 100% confirmation on this. So yeah, if you guys want to catch some of the pictures, make sure to follow at IFB podcast at the corner right there. That's the official podcast Twitter, and I shared basically the whole weekend on there, the people I met, pictures of the arena, some videos. So yeah, if you're interested, go have a look. Follow me as well for all the updates about the podcast. Um, what is this? Yeah, world's expectations. So, um, we're headed into planes as we got third. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, who knows? And I'll say this much: I think we got rather good group. We dodged LCK, we dodged LPL, which gives us, let's say, a stronger chance to be first in the group. And the first in the group doesn't have to play the best of 5 to get into groups. So hopefully we're able to head out first. With that said, I don't think it's going to be necessarily a walk in the park. I think BYG from PCS is going to be super strong, to the point that PSG Town didn't make it to top 2. So it was BIG and Flying Oysters. That's a very funny name. So Flying Oysters beat PSG and beat BYG twice. So they look really, really scary. DFM, I think, is a decent team from Japan. They're the winningest domestic org, basically. And you have Evil Geniuses who... So I don't know if Danny will be playing. I've been told that probably not, which could give us a better chance. But AG is a strong team, and they were at MSI. So you can say anything about NA. In a best of 1, NA can take a game. And there's also Loud from CBLOL from Brazil, who took a few players from Pain Gaming. I knew that because I met some Brazilian fans on my trip to Malmö in the plane, and they saw me with my Fnatic gear, and they were like, "Oh, you're going to see LEC?" And they were Pain support. The guys traveled all the way from Brazil. How amazing is that? So yeah. So we'll be doing all of that fun stuff, obviously. And when does it start? 29th of September. I don't know how I'm going to manage the covering of that because the games are going to be super late. And I most probably won't be watching them live. Especially that on that week I will have a wedding weekend, so I won't be able to watch the games. I'll be doing some other stuff, and yeah. So the boys have a few weeks to prepare. The meta is going to be different. We're going to see a whole bunch of different champions. I'm still confident that we're going to be able to make it to groups. I haven't put the group stage yet. I'll mention it if we ever qualify and go forward. But yeah, that's about it. That's what's left for our boys. Planes in 2 weeks' time, roughly. And cross fingers that they make it out. Okay, guys. That's it for me for the LEC. Gonna be chilling until Worlds comes around. Be on the lookout for the vlog, and hopefully I'll see you in one of these socials right here. Follow me on my main account, @mattscott_, or the podcast AFB Podcast if you want to catch the VOD inside Fnatic's Brush on YouTube, or for your Spotify users, inside Fnatic's Brush. They usually get posted during the night, so on Friday you get all the good stuff for you. Guys, I love you very much. Thank you again for being so supportive, watching my podcast, reaching out, all that good stuff. Watching the VODs, coming live, listening onto Spotify. It means a whole lot for me. I'll see you for Worlds, and then we'll see how far we go. I'll catch you on the next time. Vlog coming out soon. Take care. Always Fnatic, guys. Bye-bye.